Play.
It's time to get the phones out. It's time to get playing again. We are here to have a look at the ATP draw and do a match-by-match prediction. So we begin with Emil Ruusuvuori against Hugo Humbert. I'm going to go for Ruusuvuori. He's been in pretty good form this year and is quite decent on the clay. Let's go for Barrère over the American wildcard Nava. And it's good to see Sebi quarterback, by the way. How far do you have him going in the tournament? Let me know in the comments below. Hugo Schwartzman, I think he's been in the doldrums for large parts of the year, but I do think he will overcome the French qualifier Grenier. Let's go for Carlos Baena. No, David Goffin, I apologize, to overcome the Spaniard despite home turf. Let's go for Gojo, the qualifier, over Montero. Let's go for Quinton Hallis, who's shown some good form on the clay, particularly in Estoril, over Popperin. And let's have, what do we got here? We've got Wu up against Molchan. I'll go for Molchan in that one. And we'll go for Stan the Man, Wawrinka over Maxime Cressy. That's a very interesting clash that'll be coming up later today. Let's go for Benoit Paire or Arnaldi. Let's go for Arnaldi over Benoit Paire. And then let's go for Munar over Kokkinakis. And let's have Oscar Otter, the German, to overcome Kotov. And we'll go for Hanfmann over Varillas, but that's a tough call. Have you got Musetti or Hurkacz, by the way, going all the way to the final? Let me know in the comment section below. Let's go for Gasquet. That flame is still just about burning towards the end of his career. Let's have him getting through. Let's go for Gaston over Shardy. And of course, we know that buys always go out in the first round. Curious. Let's go for Ramos Binolas over Ivashka. And let's go for Galan to beat. No, let's go for Bublik. Bublik to get off the mark in Madrid. And what else have we got? We've got Kubler against Lajovic. Well, Lajovic, of course, had a really good week in Banja Luka last week, winning the tournament. So let's go for Lajovic. Let's go for lucky loser Struff over Sonego. Of course, Struff managing to squeeze through despite losing his first qualifier of the year, I believe, yesterday. We did a show on qualifiers regarding that. So Damien and I did a rundown on that. So make sure you hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit the notification bell and you won't miss out on any of the content that we're going to be bringing you constantly throughout the Madrid Open. Ben Shelton walked past him yesterday, by the way. He was in good spirits. Let's go for cash-in over the wild card Shelby. I hope I'm saying that right. And let's go for Manarino over Echeverri, but that's a close call, I would suggest. Tiafoe and Tommy Paul, two Americans now, both in the top 15 seeds, both top 20 in the world. How far do you have them going in the tournament? You know the drill. Comments below. Let's go for Jarry over Safiullin. Obviously, Jarry winning a title earlier this year in his homeland of Chile. Let's go for Mackenzie McDonald to upset the Morales scenario there. Dan Evans, by the way, highly seeded at 19. Of course, he had a good run in Barcelona where he got to the semi-finals. Let's go for Giron over Borges. And let's go for Dominic Thiem over Carl Edmund. That'll be an interesting one. And let's go for O'Connell or Krajinovic. Krajinovic over O'Connell. And let's go for Garin over Husler. Although Garin hasn't been putting up many trees on the clay so far this season, but let's see how that pans out. Maybe he's looking forward to his grass at Wimbledon, perhaps, where he did so well last year. Although I think the late withdrawal of Berrettini aided him somewhat. Okay, let's go for Rodionov to beat Zhang. And let's go for Mutet to beat Watanuki. And we'll go for Cecchinato over Fucsovics, but that's a really close call, I would suggest. Let's go for Karatsev unbelievably winning in straight sets yesterday over Jan-Lennard Struff. But of course, as I said, Struff made the draw through being a lucky loser. But let's go for Karatsev to make it through to round 2. And let's go for Shevchenko to beat JJ Wolf. Let's go for Andy Murray, who, of course, had a couple of wins in Madrid last year before pulling out through injury, through to the next round where he will play Daniil Medvedev. Okay. Next round. Let's go for, so we've got Carlos Alcaraz against Ruusuvuori. I would suggest that's a tricky first match for Alcaraz, actually, at that stage. But I'm going to go for the Spaniard. Maybe he'll drop a set. Let's see. Dimitrov against Barrel. I'll go for Dimitrov in that one. Sebi Korda over Diego Schwartzman. Let's go Sebi Korda, but it is his first match, I think, since Australia. So that could go either way, but I'll go Sebi Korda. Under normal circumstances, I think I would pretty much always go for him, but first match in a few months. Let's see if his wrist injury has fully healed. Let's go for Zverev over Goffin. Zverev, of course, a former champion and finalist last year. Let's go for Hachinov over Gojo. Let's go for Roberto Bautista Agut over Quinton Hallis, but that could go either way. But I've picked a lot of Spaniards to go out in the first round, so perhaps I should just therefore put Roberto through, but that's not how it works, of course. But I think he probably will just have a bit too much. For the Frenchman, let's go for Nishioka over Molchan, and let's go for Rublev, Stan Wawrinka. That's an interesting clash. Let's go for Rublev, but that could really be a real popcorn match in the next round. Let's go for Casper Ruud over Arnaldi. And let's go for Griekspoor over Munar. And let's go for Carreño Busta to beat Oscar Otter. But it's also his first match in a long time. I think he's barely played this year, if at all. Let me know in the comment section below. Maybe he's not played in longer. I just don't remember the last time Carreño Busta played. Was he in Australia? I think he was, but I don't think we've seen him since. So good to see him back on the tour. Let's go for Musetti over Hanfmann. Musetti, of course, having a good run at the moment. Let's go for Hurkacz over Gasquet. Hurkacz and Clay have not always been the best of friends, but I do think things are picking up a little bit for him. I saw him practicing the other day and he looked pretty good. But then I guess a lot of players look good in practice. Borna Coric, let's have him beating Gaston, although his form has fallen off a cliff since Cincinnati. At least his health is good, though. Let's have Davidovich Fokina beating Vinolas, and let's have Holger Rune beating Bublik. Let's go for Felix over Lajovic, but that could go either way. Let's go for Ben Shelton to beat Jan-Lennard Struff. And let's go for Cerundolo over Cashin. Tiafoe over Manarino. Let's go for Nicholas Jarry to beat Tommy Paul. Why not? Let's go for Dan Evans over McDonald. Baez over Giron. And Dominic Thiem, Stefanos Tsitsipas. We'll go for Tsitsipas in that one, but boy, that would be a popcorn encounter should it take place. Taylor Fritz over Krajinovic. I think Taylor will do really well in Madrid with his serve, etc. Let's go for Kecmanovic over Garin, but that really is a close one. And let's go for Shapovalov over Rodionov. Let's go for Cam Norrie over Moutet. Let's go for Cecchinato to upset Diminor. Why not? Yeah, let's go for that. Let's go for Botic over Karatsev, but I wonder how much of a hangover he'll have from last week. And we'll go for Lehecka over Shevchenko, and we'll go Daniil Medvedev, to beat Andy Murray. Sorry, Scott. Through to the next round then. Up to the top of the draw again, we will have Carlos Alcaraz. Probably best now to just have a look at your phones, etc., because I'm going to dominate the screen here. Let's go for Alcaraz over Dimitrov. Let's go Zverev over Sebi Korda. So Zverev, Alcaraz, that'll be an interesting match to come. Let's go for Khachanov to beat Bautista Agut. Rublev to beat Nishioka. Let's go for Casper Ruud over Griekspoor. Musetti PCB. Hurkacz to beat Coric. Rune over for Davidovich Fokina. Ben Shelton to beat Felix. Why not? Call me crazy. Let me know in the comment section below. Tiafoe over Cerundolo. Jarry over Dan Evans. Tsitsipas over Baez. Taylor Fritz to beat Kecmanovic. Cam Norrie to knock out Shapovalov. Botic to beat Cecchinato. And let's go Dan Medvedev again to go through. Next round, round of 16. Alcaraz beats Zverev. Rublev beats Khachanov. Casper Ruud beats Musetti. Holger Rune knocks out Hurkacz. Tiafoe to beat Shelton. Tsitsipas knocks out Nicholas Jarry. Taylor Fritz over Cam Norrie. Taylor Fritz. And Botic van der Zandschulp. No, Daniel Medvedev to knock out Botic van der Zandschulp. Next round, here we go. Quarterfinals. Alcaraz to beat Rublev. Rune to beat Ruud. Tsitsipas to beat Tiafoe. Fritz to beat Daniel Medvedev. And now we have a nice semi-final lineup. I hope you can see this. I have Carlos Alcaraz, Holger Rune, Stefanos Tsitsipas, Taylor Fritz. Boy, oh boy. Let's go for Taylor Fritz to beat Tsitsipas. That's the easier one, in my opinion, to predict. Carlos Alcaraz to beat Holger Rune. But it's close. Now onto the final. Alcaraz, Fritz. Alcaraz to retain his Madrid title, but I don't think he'll have the same level of comfort that we saw him have in the Barcelona 500 recently. Thanks for tuning in. You know the drill. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you are new. You know it all about it. I'm off to the Madrid Open right now to catch some of the action involving Leylah Fernandez and Emma Raducanu, I think, and many others are in action today. I know Stan Wawrinka is up against Maxime Cressy as well. So, here's the drill.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on